What do you get when you blend in 500 Days of Summer, Midsummer, and a dash of the substance? You get Together, a twisted love story wrapped in body horror and emotional chaos. Starring two leads with undeniable chemistry. Hey guys, I'm Zach, the Baby Cinephile, and if you like weird movies, weekly reviews, and honest film takes, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a frame. Together has been one of the most hyped up horror films of the year. And I've been grinding my teeth in anticipation so that I can get into that theater and check this out.
Let me in. Let me in.
And while it didn't quite hit the highs I was expecting, it still offered a deeply entertaining and oddly heartfelt ride. Directed by newcomer Michael Shanks, the movie toes the line of indie romantic drama and surreal horror. You can tell this filmmaker is way more interested in emotion than gore. And while it's not a bad thing, it just might not be what hardcore body horror fans were expecting. You can totally see this guy loves elevated horror. You can see Ari Aster as an inspiration in some of the imagery and the way the film is executed and the way they sprinkle little clues throughout to get you rolling on what is actually going on. The story centers around on a codependent couple played by real-life married couple Alison, Brie, and Franco. They're trying to rediscover who they are as individuals after years of living as a unit. That gets really complicated really fast when a mysterious infection forces them to bond anytime they try to get intimate. And I mean literally stuck together. And I gotta give them really big props because their chemistry is what really holds the movies together. Yes, that pun is intended. Whether they're quietly falling apart or screaming through an argument, there's a rawness to their performance that really makes you care. At least it made me care, and I feel like a lot of people in the audience in the movie theater was very invested. You really feel like you're watching a relationship crumble in real time, a real relationship that you feel like you know someone that's going through this and also evolve. Visually, the movie looks really good. It leans into that romantic indie soft lighting that you would see in those smaller romantic films, which creates a strange contrast when things get really creepy. It's like pastel discomfort, but it totally works. And I gotta give a shout out to the sound design as well. The squelches, the tension and the silence, up close whispers, all of it creates a mood that's more unsettling than the actual visuals. Now, thematically, the movie taps into something very, very real. Identity loss in long-term relationships. It asks, what happens when you've been with someone for so long and maybe you're not fully committed on both sides? Are you with this person because of complacency, or do you truly feel like you're going to get to that higher next level of intimacy? You're just waiting it out. And do you forget who you were before you met them? All of this is exaggerated through the body horror, but the metaphor really cuts deep. Still, despite all the depth, the body horror is tame compared to what I expected from all the hype and the trailers. If you come in looking for full-on body grotesque, throw up, in your face, trauma, body horror like The Substance, instead what we get is more of a deranged romantic comedy with horror seasoning. And honestly, I kind of love the pivot. I was a little disappointed at the end when I was thinking like, oh, I thought this was going to go further, but ended up really having a great time with the film because it's still very unique despite all the things that it's referencing. The tonal shifts are wild. One moment it feels like it's a breakup movie, the next moment it feels like Cronenberg light. The genre blending may throw off some people, but I think it went from each point really well and smoothly, and I think it really works and makes everything feels fresh. Now let's talk about the pacing. Sometimes in films like this, the pacing of the film makes it feel like a slog. But I gotta say, the first act of this movie is really tight. And the final act is chaotic in the best way. But that middle stretch is filled with awkward tension and laughs. Once all these elements start fusing, pun intended again, the movie really kicks into gear. And the movie takes its time giving the affection and what's going on and all the weird imagery you're seeing, some lore, and it's really interesting. But if you're familiar with other elevated horror films, you'll probably predict where it's going by the halfway mark of the movie. I wish it had a few more twists and turns and red herrings to keep me off the scent of what was really going on. That said, I laughed way more than I expected. There was legit moments where the whole theater was laughing out loud together and then wincing the necks from the horrific imagery we were seeing on screen. It's uncomfortable fun, but still fun. Together might not deliver the horror high I was hoping for, but as a dark, deranged rom-com with gnarly effects, it absolutely works. It's messy, funny, disturbing, and somehow oddly romantic. Is it the body horror movie of the year? Not really. Does it perfectly land the ending? I think the ending was going to be more divisive than loved, but it's definitely the chaotic date night movie that I didn't know I needed. In the comments down below, let me know what you thought about Together, and if somehow during this movie you fused with somebody or you're about to, maybe go to a doctor. I'm Zach, the baby cinephile, and I'll catch you in the next reel.